What do you do when spiritually developing yourself stops feeling good? I decided I wanted to make this video because did you know that that really can happen for everyone? That, it's like, all right, a little bit of spiritual development, you've taken a workshop, you've been meditating, and then it's like if a little bit is good, then a whole lot is better. And next thing you do, you're taking all of these workshops and then you just hit this point where you just kind of crash and burn, and no matter what you do, you just can't feel better. So, hi, I'm Nancy Rebecca. I am a registered nurse, and I've been spiritually developing for a long time. I teach psychic development on 3 different levels, these year-long programs. So I have firsthand experience of what it's like to work with students who are spiritually developing, and when they get going too fast, they can crash and burn. And I know this because it happened to me. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And if you are one of those who are very new to spiritually developing, don't worry, because this video has something for you as well, which has a lot of recommendations about how you can do it the right way and not do it the wrong way. So let me go ahead and get started with a little bit of a story. So I had my out-of-body experience about 30 years ago, and I was already in a physical crisis without spiritual support. So what does that mean? Well, I often will talk about God as an afterthought. When I'm working with clients, I'm like, oh, you're one of those that talks to God as an afterthought, meaning you've already been struggling and suffering and felt challenged with life. And then finally, like for me, I call it my down on my knees moment, is when it was like, okay, finally, I've done everything else. I might as well talk to God. So that's what I talk about, God as an afterthought. But what happened was I felt so much better after a healer helped teach me how to ground, how to bring my light down into my body. I felt so good that that's all I wanted after that. I didn't want anything else. I just wanted to meditate. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to do everything that I could do to maintain that level of just feeling so light, so bright, so clear on so many levels. I had been into it a few years, so I would say easily like about 5 years. And then suddenly it was like when I talk about meditation, I teach an active form of meditation. So that's where you ground and you draw upon the earth energy connection. You bring in the cosmic connection. It would be like running energy, light prana through your energy channels. And, and so I would just do this, and it's like, well, if a little bit's good, a lot is better. So I was finding that I was running my energy and meditating sometimes 4 hours a day. So I would get up extra early in the morning, and then I would meditate at night. So what ended up happening was one day my body just put on the brakes. It was like every time I went to close my eyes, I went to ground, I felt really sick. I thought something was really wrong. So I went and had a psychic healer take a look, and it was like, your body's just done. Your body just can't take any more. And I thought, okay, there's got to be a better reason than that. And then I went to another healer. I took another class. I kept trying to do different things, and I was getting sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker until I couldn't meditate at all. And so what happened was I had to stop meditating for about 6 months. I had to replace it with, and this is the lesson that I want to share with you, had to replace it with things that were nourishing and enjoying for my body. So that's what I had neglected to do. I hadn't been taken care of my body, and I hadn't been doing some fun things for my body. And so I first started with coloring. So I started coloring these mandalas. I got these mandala books and I got these color pencils, and I just started coloring, and I started finding that I was feeling better right away. So I kept coloring and coloring and coloring. And then my sister invited me to go snowshoeing with her. I'd never done that before. And now I'm out in nature. And in snowshoeing, all you can do is put one foot in front of the other. And it was just, I was out in nature. I was doing something for my body, and I started feeling better again. Another friend invited me to go bowling. And so now we're laughing, we're having fun. I didn't know anything about bowling, and it's like trying to keep it out of the gutter and just having loads of fun. So I really started doing a lot of fun things. And then I was able to return to doing meditation just a little bit. So what I found was that, yes, you can spiritually develop too much. You can take way too many classes. You can see way too many healers. You can see way too many psychics. If you overdevelop spiritually, your physical body can't go there with you if you're not giving your body some integration time. So I learned a lot in that way. So when I'm working with my students, and I'm finding that they're getting sick, that they're meditating too much, and I'll ask them to slow down, and I'll say, okay, please slow down. I know you're meditating 6 hours a day. Try to go down to 30 minutes a day. Try to go down to 10 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day. Or I might say, no meditation for you for 2 weeks. And a lot of times they don't want to stop, and they end up not just getting sick, but getting kind of in a health crisis to where they might end up, in the hospital having big issues. This is really a real thing. So if I'm working with 100 students, it might happen to one student. So it's not like it happens to everyone. But you want balance. You need balance. So when I was in Nepal, I was talking to a Rinpoche, a Tibetan Rinpoche. We were talking about meditation, and he was telling me that they have a lot of meditators. We hear about them in the caves, meditating in the caves. Well, what they do is they're sitting and meditating, and he was saying they build these boxes around their body to hold their body up so that they can continue to meditate and run their energy for hours a day in this cave, because their body gets to a point where it may not be able to respond and react. He was talking about another person who meditated, hours a day, whose bones started to kind of get soft from non-action, non-movement. So there was a video that I made, and I talked about, you keep giving the ice cream cone to your spirit, you're rewarding your spirit, you're feeding your spirit the ice cream cone, and yet you're neglecting the body. So it's like having two children, the spirit child, the physical child, that you want to make sure that you are providing equal opportunity to both be fed. So let me talk about this physical body. Your physical body is made up of your soul's energy. It's just that your soul's energy in the physical body is of a denser frequency so that it can be in a solid form. We rarely think of our body as a spiritual, sacred, holy, grace-filled with wisdom entity. It's human. Often we're very punishing to our body. And so you definitely want to do things that are fun. But we are also in a society where we do a lot of things that's fun, right? Most of us do a lot of things, and we don't normally spiritually develop or add in that balance of spiritual development. But in this video, what I'm talking about is when I work with people who they just are at a workshop every weekend, they're at different programs. I had a student taking my my class and probably went to 12 different workshops in that year and really suffered because of it. So let's see what else I want to say. So you may, when you don't feel good, you want to do more alternative therapies, and that is not the answer. You want to do more working with your physical body. And so do things like playing cards, do things, like I said, go bowling. Often we think we need more therapy. We need to read more self-help books. We need to sit. We need to do things that avoid getting triggered. You want to get triggered. You want to get triggered. Your body wants to react to things. And if you're trying to keep this environment, your spiritual energetic environment, just very much at peace all the time and love and bliss, that's not really reality. Your body wants to have feelings about things. Your body wants to feel sensual or sexual. Your body wants to get angry and frustrated. And if it's sitting in a cave in the Himalayas, held up by a box, that's not... your body doesn't get to enjoy the spiritual development either. Let's see here. And so my question for you was, when was the last time you did something fun for your body? And I have to say, I'm not always very good at that. Like, I love to meditate, but I do things that I like to do. So it's like I might like to bake pies. I don't like to eat them as much, but I like to give them away. Or I might go spend time with my grandkids, or just different things that are other than always being in the ethers. And that's the thing, like star beings, thinking about star beings and from another planet, and maybe there's UFOs, and that sometimes you can dip into that soup a little bit too much, that you're at this such a high frequency that you're no worldly good. So let me just speak as I am from my experience of working with thousands of students, that you really need a balance. And sometimes that spiritual development, more is not better most of the time. And do things like Tai Chi and do things like yoga, so that you're including your body and moving that energy through the body, that there's body, or go out and exercise, or run, be active that way, join a class where you're interacting with other people, because your body loves and looks forward to that unity consciousness where you get to do things together with other people. All right, so if you're one of my students, balance, do some fun things. And if you are one who spiritually develops at high levels, don't forget your body. And my teacher told me once, and I will end this here, she said, you can really spiritually develop and you can do many, many beautiful things. But the moment that you decide to take your body with you, you're going to develop spiritually in ways you can't even begin to imagine. All right, so we're taking our bodies with us. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.